Welcome back, viewers. Let's take a look at what's making the headlines at this hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departs for Croatia, marking the final stop of his three-nation tour after wrapping up a productive visit to Canada, where he participated in the G7 summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds a telephonic conversation with Donald Trump, categorically telling him that India halted Operation Sindoor because Pakistan begged for a ceasefire. In a big breakthrough in the ties, India and Canada agreed to reinstate ambassadors to each other's capitals months after the bitter diplomatic fallout between New Delhi and Ottawa. A series of powerful Israeli strikes rocked the Iranian capital of Tehran, marking the most direct and intense escalation yet. The strikes come hours after Trump's unconditional surrender warning to Tehran. US President Donald Trump is slated to meet Pakistani Army Chief General Asim Munir, who is in Washington on an official visit at the White House today. India's Captain Shubhanshu Shukla's Axiom-4 missiles has once again been postponed just ahead of its initially planned launch date on the 19th of June, marking the fourth delay for the mission. NASA Axiom Space and SpaceX are now targeting a launch date no earlier than 22nd of June. Now, viewers, focus is back on the Iran-Israel conflict, and according to the latest reports, Israeli strikes on Iran have killed at least 585 people and wounded 1,326 others. Meanwhile, the Israeli Defense Forces have said that air raid sirens were sounded in the northern Israel after a hostile aircraft infiltrated the airspace, as the two sides continue to exchange cross-border strikes. Aditya Vadhavan joins me with more updates. Aditya, what is the toll that you're tracking in the latest as far as Israeli targets hitting at bases of the nuclear military in Iran is concerned?
Well, absolutely, Simran. If you see, Israelis continuously, bombing the northern Tehran as well as central Tehran. The entire Tehran is being bombed by the Israeli Air Force. And, both US President Donald Trump and the Israeli Defense Forces have been saying that we have complete air superiority over the skies of Tehran. So at this juncture, however, also we just, let us just put this into perspective that even at this juncture, Iran is continuing to retaliate, and the military generals of Iran, senior who are very senior in the ranks, they are saying that they will launch an attack that Israel has never seen before. But at this juncture, several key nuclear installations have been hit by the Israeli Air Force and key oil facilities. There are talks, going on that the US might help Israel in targeting the underground nuclear sites. The nuclear sites of Iran, and at this juncture, if you see, Fordo is one of the important nuclear site of Iran, which the reports are coming that US has those B-52 bombers which can penetrate deep into ground, which can successfully dismantle the underground nuclear sites of Iran, and that is why now even the US President Donald Trump has publicly said that Iran should unapologetically, unconditionally apologize, and otherwise there will be dire consequences for Iran. Yes, Simran.
All right. In fact, Aditya, continue to be with us as we are also learning more updates in this crucial development. Visuals have emerged of explosions that have erupted over the Israeli skies as Iran launched missiles that were intercepted by the Israeli forces. Missiles launched from Iran were intercepted over Escalation, Golan Heights and Tel Aviv today. Explosions erupt as missiles intercepted in Israel. Aditya, as we can see even in the pictures, these are some pictures of the latest flashpoint in the conflict, and the conflict did have in fact the talking points as the agenda of the G7 also concluded. And amid this ongoing conflict, Donald Trump's warning has also emerged. What are you picking up as the latest takeaways from the G7 being in fact happening, and right now the conflict also raising at this point of time?
Well, absolutely, Simran. If you see, the G7 has condemned the Iranian actions, and they have maintained the same line as what Israel and US are following, that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons and Iran must, surrender. So at this juncture, everybody is all the Western Europe and United States is completely supporting Israel in its war, and they have been saying that it is the right of Israel, to take military actions against Iran in the wake of self-defense, because as far if you see, there are reports that as per the Israeli version, that Iran is just some days ahead of developing a nuclear weapon, whereas US believes that that it will further take some years to develop a nuclear bomb for Iran. Yes, Simran.
All right. In fact, Aditya, as these developments are being tracked, we are also learning further that meanwhile, all 110 Indian students, including 90 from Kashmir, who crossed into Armenia from Iran, have safely reached Yerevan and are accommodated in hotels. The flight to Delhi is scheduled for tomorrow. Well, that is something that Indian embassy in Iran is also taking complete care of, while 110 Indian students are now being called back home due to the escalating tensions. On that note, Aditya continues to be with us. Aditya, what are you picking up as far as the safety and security of these students studying in Iran and in the Middle East largely, that is now waging a war against each other?
Well, absolutely, Simran. And we know that the Indian embassy safely had got all the 110 Indian students, out of which 90 are from Kashmir, to cross the Iran border and then reach Armenia. And from there today, it is expected that their flight from Armenia will arrive in Delhi today. I mean, they first in about 5 to 6 buses, all the Indian students were brought to Armenia's capital Yerevan, where they checked into hotels, and now it needs to be seen by when they would be I mean, brought back to Delhi. And the Ministry of External Affairs had released an advisory that because the situation remains fluid in the Middle East due to the Iran-Israel war, they will continue to release and to release any travel advisories as and when needed. Yes, Simran.
All right. In fact, as the travel advisory is also concerned, the focus is on maintaining the safety of these Indian students accommodated in the hotels of Armenia, as well as the conflict escalates further. What we are learning next is that the US military is deploying more fighter aircraft to Middle East and extending the deployment of warplanes, bolstering US military forces in the region as the war between Israel and Iran rages. 3 US officials have said this, while one of the officials have also stated that the deployment include F-16, F-22 and F-35 fighter aircraft. 2 of the officials stressed that the defensive nature of the deployment of the fighter aircraft, which have been used to shoot down drones and projectiles. All right, more warfare has been deployed, and in that, in fact, US military has deployed more jets to the Middle East, while there is an expectation of the war being blown out of a critical juncture, which we are looking at this point of time. F-16, F-22 and F-35, Aditya, now are also being used and roped in during this escalation by the United States. How exactly is the United States also aided in the warfare as far as Middle East is concerned during this fight?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the America has, moved its nuclear-powered submarine limits to the Middle East, which carries, which has includes F-22s and F-35s, and there could be a major escalation if this happens, because the UK has also moved its military assets near to Middle East. So this is now getting tense because the situation is remains fluid in and around the Middle East. And at this juncture, there were reports that Iran did did shot down some of the F-35s that were given to United States, that were given to Israel by the United States. They have Iranian Revolutionary Guard have claimed that they have shot down some F-35s of the United States. So now now the situation is tense across the region, and it needs to be seen from here on how this entire situation further develops, because the Israel is aiming to destroy all the even the underground nuclear sites of Iran. Yes, Simran.
All right. On that note, let's also take a look at more developments coming from Israel, where the Israeli Defense Forces have issued a statement stating that they have attacked a centrifuge production site and several weapons production site in Iran. The conflict between the two countries has entered its sixth day, and what we are learning with that is that the IDF has said that it has attacked several weapon production sites in Iran. All right, Aditya, what are you picking up as the IDF statement on the attacks against Iran is concerned?
Well, absolutely. They have the IDF has been saying that they have struck essential nuclear sites of Iran, be it in Natanz nuclear site of Iran or the Fordo nuclear site of Iran. And there were some reports going on that there could be some sort of nuclear radiation within these nuclear sites of Iran, but so far they haven't been confirmed. And if you see the statements of the Indian International Atomic Energy Agency chief, they have said they have confirmed now the fact that there is no nuclear radioactive leakage within the nuclear sites of Iran, which was struck by the Israeli Defense Forces. So, at this juncture, I mean, the entire network of whether it is Israel or US, everybody is aiming to destroy the nuclear sites of Iran, and to some extent they have also been able to destroy significant nuclear sites, and have also been able to eliminate several top nuclear scientists of Iran. But now it needs to be seen how from here on how the situation progresses. Simran.
Well, all right. In fact, Aditya, as we are also tracking more updates in this, firstly, let's also take a look at more developments of the Axiom 4. The Axiom 4 mission, which is set to carry a 4-member crew, including Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla, to the International Space Station, which has once again been postponed. SpaceX has said this in a statement that a launch date of new 22nd of June is now being fixed. SpaceX has also said that it's targeting no earlier than to 22nd June to plan the launch at 3:42 a.m. with the backup opportunity available on the 23rd of June at 3:20 as per the time. Arzu Seth is joining me with more updates. Arzu, this is in fact for the yet another time that the launch of the Axiom 4, which is going to have the Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla on board, has been postponed. And right now, in fact, what we are looking next to see as the launch happening is the 22nd of June. What the SpaceX has attributed this delay and the postponement to, and also in fact, what are you picking up as far as these details that are coming from SpaceX is concerned?
Well, Simran, the Axiom 4 mission, which is set to carry the Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla to the International Space Stations, has been delayed once again. And Elon Musk aeronautic company SpaceX said in the statement that they're targeting June 22 on Sunday for the launch of the Falcon 9 spacecraft carrying the AX-4 crew. Also, if we see, SpaceX in this statement stated that SpaceX is targeting no earlier than Sunday, June 22 for the mission, and also which will be carrying the crew to the International Space Station for the launch of the launch complex 39A at the NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Also, the launch is targeted for 3:42 a.m. with a backup opportunity available on Monday, June 23 at 3:20 a.m. Also, if we see, Axiom Space is in a statement stated that continued repair and technical checks are the reason behind the delayed launch date. So once again, earlier the reason was given that the weather condition is not favorable, and that's why the mission has to be delayed. But now, in the statement, it is stated that the continued repair and technical checks are the reason behind the delayed launch date. Yes, Imran.
Well, all right, Arzu. In fact, on that note, thank you very much for being with us on the broadcast. And now we are also moving forward with more updates. Gujarat Home Minister Harsh Singhvi has now shared that the DNA of 184 victims of the fatal Air India flight AI-171 crash have been matched. 184 of the 275 victims have now been identified through the DNA testing. Moreover, the mortal remains of the 21 deceased are yet to be handed over to their families by this morning. Shahid Ansari is live from the hospital where the DNA sampling test is underway. While in fact, let me also speak to him and get more details on this. शायद जिस तरीके से ये पूरा हादसा हुआ और उसके बाद अब सिविल हॉस्पिटल में जांच पड़ताल हो रही है, अभी तक टोटल 184 विक्टिम्स के जो डीएनए सैंपल हैं वो मैच कर चुके हैं. हॉस्पिटल अथॉरिटीज़ का बाकी डीएनए सैंपल्स पे और बाकी विक्टिम्स के डीएनए सैंपल पे क्या कहना है, इस समय क्या लेटेस्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन हॉस्पिटल ने जारी की है जहां तक पूरे प्रोसेस और पूरे इस सिस्टम की सैंपलिंग की बात है?
सिमरन देखिए, 184 जो आपने बताया है ये तो मैच हो चुके हैं, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ जो परिजन जिनके शव को जो है तकरीबन 130 से ज़्यादा शव को उनके परिजनों के हवाले कर दिए गए हैं. इस वक्त मैं अहमदाबाद सिविल हॉस्पिटल के मर्क्यूरी कॉम्प्लेक्स के बाहर सिमरन मौजूद हूँ. यहाँ पे जो है आज हादसे को 7वां दिन हो गया है और अभी भी आप देखिए ये एम्बुलेंस और उसके साथ साथ जो पूरी टीम है, पुलिस टीम या दूसरे लोग हैं, जाँच एजेंसी, सारे लोग जो है यहाँ मौजूद हैं और कोशिश यही की जा रही है कि जो मृतक है उनके परिवार को जो है जल्द से जल्द जो है उनके शव दे दिए जाएं. लेकिन अहम चीज ये है सिमरन की किसी भी जो है डीएनए सैंपल मैच करने के लिए ये कोई आधे घंटे या 1 घंटे का काम नहीं होता, बल्कि इसके लिए भी एक लंबा चौड़ा प्रोसेस होता है. बावजूद इसके जो है अहमदाबाद सिविल हॉस्पिटल ने अहमदाबाद के कई इलाकों से तकरीबन 54 फॉरेंसिक टीम के लोगों को जो है बुलाया है और उन्हें 24 घंटे इस काम पर लगा दिया है ताकि कोशिश यही रहे कि जल्द से जल्द मृतकों के जो है जो डीएनए है वो मैच हो जाए और उसके साथ साथ मैच होने के साथ साथ जो है उनको उतनी ही जल्दी उनको सौंप दिया जाए. वजह उसकी यह है कि जितनी जल्दी उन्हें सौंप दिया जाएगा वो अंतिम संस्कार की जो प्रक्रिया है उसे वो उतनी जल्दी पूरी कर सकेंगे. आपको मैं बता दूं कि कई ऐसे परिवार हैं जो अभी भी जो है इस बात को लेकर इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि उनके जो परिजन हैं, उनके जो शव है उनको उनके हवाले किए जाए. हालांकि कई ऐसे लोग हैं जिनके सैंपल भी लिए जा चुके हैं, बावजूद उसके जो है उनके सैंपल जो मैचिंग का जो प्रक्रिया है वो अभी तक पूरी नहीं हो पाई. हॉस्पिटल प्रशासन ने इस बात को लेकर कहा है कि कोई भी परिजन ये ना समझे कि हम किसी भी तरह की लापरवाही बरत रहे हैं, बल्कि हम हर इस जो शव है हम कोशिश भी यही कर रहे हैं कि जल्द से जल्द जो है ये सारी प्रक्रिया पूरी हो जाए ताकि उनको हमें भी इस बात का ख्याल है हमें भी इस बात का हुआ है कि जिनके मौत हो गई है उन्हें इसका दर्द और इंतजार कितना करना पड़ रहा है, हमें भी इस बात का ख्याल है. लेकिन चूंकि डीएनए के जो प्रोसेस है उसमें से होता यह है कि किसी भी सैंपल से मैचिंग करने के लिए पूरे सैंपल को जो है टेस्ट करना पड़ता है और उसके साथ साथ दूसरी बहुत सारी अहम बातें ये भी है कि अगर किसी भी डीएनए को मैच करना है तो शरीर के किसी भी अंग को, बोन मैरो है, दांत है या दूसरी चीजें जो है बहुत जल्दी इनसे हो जाती है. लेकिन यहाँ पे जो बॉडी मिली है वो इतनी बुरी हालत में है, बुरी तरह से जल गई है. सिमरन अंदाजा लगाइए कि वहां पे जब ये हादसा पेश आया है तो कहा जा रहा है कि 1000 डिग्री सेल्सियस पर जो है ये वहां का तापमान था. तो आप अंदाजा लगाइए. और उसके बाद जो बॉडी और जो शव वहां से बरामद किए गए वो देखने के लायक नहीं थे, बहुत ही खौफनाक मंजर था. पूरी तरह से जो है पूरे जिस्म जल गए थे. जो बताने में भी जो है ये बात जो है एक तरह से डर और जो है कांप जाता है इंसान की. जो आग लगी थी उसमें से लोगों को जब आग निकाले गए तो उसमें से लोगों की जिस्म के हिस्से जो है, जो शव है वो पूरी तरह से जल गए थे, हड्डियां पकड़ के निकाली जा रही थी. तो अब ये जो प्रोसेस है डीएनए का, देखिए इसमें से हॉस्पिटल प्रशासन हर संभव कोशिश कर रहा है कि ये कितनी जल्दी से जल्दी हो जाए ताकि जो परिजन है, आपको मैं बताऊं कि लोग अभी भी इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि कैसे उनको कॉल आए. हालांकि किसी जो लोगों को कॉल नहीं भी आए वो भी जो है यहाँ आके बैठे हुए हैं. उनका यह है कि कॉल आए और फौरन वो लेकर चले जाए. हालांकि हॉस्पिटल प्रशासन ने यह भी कहा है कि जैसे ही डीएनए सैंपल सैंपल मैच होगा, वो जिनका नंबर सैंपल के लिए लिए गए उनको कॉल किया जाएगा, उसके बाद वो यहाँ आए। लेकिन चूंकि लोग इतना परेशान है, इसलिए लोग कोशिश यही कर रहे हैं कि यहाँ पे जो है आके बैठे और जैसे ही उन्हें कॉल आए फौरन वो अपने परिजनों के शव लेकर अंतिम संस्कार के लिए चले जाएं। जी सिमरन।
Absolutely. In fact, as I can see from the crash site around the civil hospital, this is what is the view currently, which is absolutely horrific for even the process of the victim's family. Meanwhile, debris is still being removed from the crash site. It is the 6th day of after the crash, and now what is also being recovered are the remains of the victim's jewelry, passport, mobile, clothes and documents, and other items as well that has been found under the debris. A lot of the burnt items and jewelry that have been found will be handed over to the families of the deceased after completing the legal procedures. More than 180 laborers are engaged at the accident site who are working to remove this debris. शाहिद, जहाँ तक बात करते हैं कि अभी भी जो क्रैश साइट है उस पे मलबे को हटाने का काम चल रहा है और इस समय काफ़ी भारी मात्रा में लोगों को जुटाया जा रहा है, तो फैमिलीज़ को उनके जो रिलेटिव्स हैं या उनके जो घर के लोग हैं जो इस क्रैश में मारे गए, उनका सामान देने की प्रक्रिया को कैसे पूरा निभाया जा रहा है? क्योंकि हॉस्पिटल अथॉरिटीज़ तो अपना काम कर ही रही हैं, पर जो उनका सामान है वो किस तरीके से आइडेंटिफाई करके लोगों तक पहुंचाया जा रहा है, ये भी एक बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट और इस समय बहुत इमोशनल एक प्रोसेस है।
देखिए सिमरन, क्या होता है कि कहीं भी आप किसी भी जगह पे जो हादसे की जगह होती है, सिर्फ यही नहीं कि ये प्लेन हादसा जो हुआ है ये, इसके अलावा भी बाकी जगहों की अगर बात करें, जैसे कहीं जलजला आ जाता है, भूकंप आ जाता है, बिल्डिंग गिर जाती है, आग लग जाती है, तो ये सारे जगहों पर जब भी कुछ इस तरह के हादसे होते हैं तो यहाँ पे सबसे अहम काम ये होता है कि सबसे पहले जो लोग हैं यहाँ जो उसमें उस हादसे के शिकार हुए हैं उन्हें जो है सुरक्षित यहाँ से बचाना। फिर उसके बाद सबसे अहम ये होता है कि वहाँ पे जो है कंट्रोल किया जाए, फिर उसके साथ साथ जो है उनके जो माल मुद्दे हैं उसे जो है बरामद किया जाए सिमरन। फिर उसके साथ साथ जो है उसके लिए एक शनाख्त करनी होती है, यानी कि जो लोग जो बॉडी जिन लोगों की होती है उनके परिजनों को जो है कैसे उनको सौंपा जाए इसके होती है। फिर उसके साथ साथ जो वहाँ पे चीज़ें जब्त की जाती हैं उसके लिए भी एक प्रक्रिया होती है, यानी जाँच एजेंसियाँ जो होती हैं सिमरन माफ़ कीजिएगा सिमरन, जो जाँच एजेंसियाँ होती हैं उनके ये जिम्मेदारी होती है कि वहां से एनओसी मिले। एनओसी के बाद जो है उनको ये जैसे आप यहाँ पे इस जगह की मैं बात करूं, जो विमान हादसा हुआ है यहाँ की अगर मैं बात करूं तो यहाँ पे जो जो चीज़ें बरामद हुई है पहले मैं वो आपको बता देता हूँ। सबसे पहले यहाँ पे एक मद्भागवत गीता मिली है जो पूरी तरह से सुरक्षित रही है। उसके साथ साथ कई लोगों के 7 से 8 लोगों के पासपोर्ट मिले हैं, कई लोगों के जो है आधार कार्ड मिले हैं, कई लोगों के पैन कार्ड मिले हैं, कई लोगों के मेडिकल पेपर मिले हैं, कई लोगों के कपड़े मिले हैं और बहुत सारी ज़रूरत की चीज़ें मिली हैं और बच्चों के टॉयज़ मिले हैं। तो अब ये सारी चीज़ें जो मिली है इसमें से सबसे अहम है कि जो गहने हैं, जो सोने चांदी के जो गहने हैं उसमें भी जो है देखिए अब वापस कैसे किया जाए उसका भी एक प्रक्रिया होती है। कोर्ट से इसमें जो फैमिली होती है, जैसे जो लोग मौत के शिकार हो गए हैं उनकी फैमिली होती है, उनकी ये जिम्मेदारी होती है कि वो कोर्ट से जो है जाके अप्रोच करें, वहां से जो है प्रॉपर्टी सरेंडर करने का एप्लीकेशन देना होता है। फिर उसके बाद जो जांच एजेंसी होती है वो कोर्ट के थ्रू जो है उन परिजनों को उनके वो सारी चीजें जो है उनके बताए गए नियम के मुताबिक शिनाख्त की जाती है, फिर उसके बाद वो वापस की जाती है। यहाँ पे भी बात करें कि यहाँ पे अब तक जो है ये बहुत सारी चीजें बरामद की गई है और वो जब भी नियम और कानून के तहत जो है उन परिजनों को वापस कर दी जाएगी। जी सिमरन।
Well, all right. In fact, Shahid, thank you very much for joining me live on the broadcast. And now, viewers, let's also move forward with new updates that are emerging and the angles that are surfacing in the Raja Raghuvanshi murder case. What the police probe so far has been able to uncover with the details of Sonam Raghuvanshi behind the killing of her husband is also the fact that the second machete was also used to attack and also murder Raja Raghuvanshi. The weapon that has been used has now been recovered from a gorge. This comes as the SIT continues its probe into the Meghalaya honeymoon murder case. Etiyab Sheikh joins me live on the broadcast, and as we are picking up these details, what we are learning so far is that the weapon, the second dao that was found inside the same gorge where the dead body of Sonam Raghuvanshi's husband was found, and these details are coming at this point of time, Etiyab, when the police probe and the SIT's focus has been also in uncovering more angles behind the horrific murder.
Absolutely, Simran. Each and every detail has been given by the Meghalaya police, and in fact, crime scene recreation was done with all the accused in this particular matter. But one thing is for clear that initially it was said that only one weapon was used to kill Raja Raghuvanshi, and Vikram was the person. Vicky Chauhan has actually given the fatal blows to Raja Raghuvanshi, but later it was discovered that another weapon, another dao, was used in that. And in fact, it has been said, the latest update that I'm getting, that SDRF is still searching for that second weapon in Meghalaya. And apart from that, the Meghalaya police and the SIT team had reached Indore yesterday night, and they had a conversation and like questioning with the victim's family, Raja Raghuvanshi's family, the basic points on which they had the discussion, and the questioning was, how long did Sonam Raghuvanshi stay in Raja Raghuvanshi's house, like the duration, her behavior. And in fact, the entire victim's family was questioned about it, and every detail has been collected. I've also come to know that the SIT team and the Shillong police had even visited that very flat where Sonam was hiding after committing the murder in Indore, that Devas Naka. And apart from that, we are also hearing that Sonam's brother, Govind Raghuvanshi, has been called upon by the Shillong police for further questioning into this matter. But details are very clear about how the murder was committed, what exactly was the mode of operandi as far as the murder was concerned, which person gave the fatal blow. As I had already said, that Vikram was the person who actually, Vishal was the person who actually gave the fatal blow to Akash, when a blow from another dao or another weapon. So things are coming crystal clear, all the pieces of together. And in fact, as far as the questioning of these accused are concerned, Meghalaya police have come up and rounded off every minute detail related to the Raja Raghuvanshi murder case.
All right.
Simran.
In fact, Ehtiyab, continue to be with us. We are also learning further updates as what the police has discovered and found so far is that Sonam Raghuvanshi deliberately damaged her husband Raja Raghuvanshi's mobile phone after hitman Vishal Chauhan attacked and murdered him. This is what we are learning. Meanwhile, we are also learning that Sonam Raghuvanshi ran away after Vishal Singh Chauhan, one of the hitmen hired by her, struck her newlywed husband Raja Raghuvanshi. All right, Ehtiyab, this is what we are learning, as the details firstly point out that after killing her husband, Sonam Raghuvanshi had fled the site with the weapon for the first time, and also at this point of time, the person who hit Raja was Vishal. What more can you add?
Yes, absolutely. Vishal was the person who actually gave the first blow, and in fact, Meghalaya police have even confirmed that they were not hired hitmen by Sonam. They were the friends of Raj Kushwa, the main accused, along with Sonam. And in fact, 3 blows were given to Raja for that murder. In fact, he was attacked from behind by Vishal. The first blow was on his head from back. The other blow was given on his face, and the third was a weak which Akash had hit onto Raja Raghuvanshi. And in fact, the details are even coming that at the time when Raja was attacked, Sonam was in front of Raja Raghuvanshi. As the blood spilled, she ran away. She distanced herself off from that scene. And in fact, details are, these are the sources saying that Sonam was the person who yelled out, "Kaam khatm karo," yani finish the job. So this exactly are these are the details that the police is sharing. The Meghalaya police had done their job as far as this particular murder case was concerned. It was only 17 days when they uncovered the entire theory of this murder, and in fact, how it was executed. Previously, it was thought about that Sonam is missing along with Raja, but since Raja's body was discovered, definitely things turned around, and Sonam was one of the main accused who, along with her friend Raj Kushwaha, has conspired this entire crime.
All right,
Simran.
Atyab, thank you very much for adding these details and also sharing further inputs as far as the probe in the Raja Raghuvanshi murder case is concerned. Now, viewers, with that, with more news and updates on the other side, stay tuned.